Please welcome to the stage David Bonnstetter.
All right. I first want to do a big shout out to James O'Leary and Alec Bonnstetter. James directed, did audio, did superb editing, and Alec shot all the video for that opening show. Great job. Well, good morning. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I get extreme anxiety thinking about preparing for an audience like this, and I never think I'm going to be prepared enough for so many professional speakers and trainers out there. So, with a little bit of practice, I'm just as curious of what I'm going to say as you are. You know, many of you wondered what I would do after Bill's passing, you know, and I told you last year on this stage, I'm not selling, but I'm investing, right? So I want to give a couple stories of how I've invested over the last year and a half, but I also want to tell you it's not enough just to invest. So the first thing I wanted to do, oops, it's not playing my video. Was build a video studio, right? So that we could improve our support materials and training materials around our assessments and reports and take them up to another level. Here you can see we did a cyclorama that we can, with these fancy LED lights, turn into a green screen or blue screen. We have an audio booth that you'll see when it comes back to the corner. We even have colored sheets coming right now that we can pull down and shoot video in front of that with different colors. So it's an awesome studio, and somehow made my voice sound good in that audio booth there. Part of that remodeling was redoing the creative room. We had to move the creative room in so that we could do a hallway. Now we have a hallway on that end of the office. And instead of a plain, just a wall, I did this glass wall, and that really has helped. It's really made this creative room an exciting place to go. You'll see people throughout the company actually take their laptops in there. And the table here actually has 6 workstations that raise and lower, so you can sit or stand as you're working. We got the couch and the TV in the corner there, so they'll have marketing meetings, creative meetings there. We can AirPlay to a bunch of TVs we've added around the office. So it's just a great place, a great space. And there's the hallway. Oh, you want to see that? Okay, there you go. We love it. So I started doing the landscaping as well. And as I started doing more of the remodeling and landscaping, people would come up to me and thank me for doing the landscaping, which I thought was strange, but was my first clue that many of you know, but I would eventually find out something else was going on. I like this shot because as we added more plants and stuff around there, and they're not blooming yet right there, but it shows the picture of our old sign with our street number, right? It was hard to find our place sometimes. So we did 2 new signs, one on the south side for the training entrance, and a nice new big one at the main entrance. Yeah, we like it too. We'll have to keep that logo for a while, huh? So as we expanded the remodeling, we started painting. And here we can see we knocked a wall out here and actually made Rick's office bigger and added splashes of coral you'll see throughout the office. So we've done blues and grays, more of the TTI colors throughout the office. And as we painted, more people will come up and say, can I have my office painted? So the more we painted, the more we painted. Here's by the solutions area. This is, we call the pit. And every morning, they'll do a morning huddle. The whole staff will come there and talk over events and things they've talked about with you. Eventually, the lower TV, I think we're going to put dashboard information so that we can constantly tell what type of reports are being run, where they're being run, have maybe a top 10 list of countries, a top 10 list of VAAs. So maybe you need to come and see if your name shows up. Here's the programming wing. We even add a splash of coral for those guys over there. We found these glass whiteboards, and they're awesome. So we have over 20 of them now in the office. They're easy to clean, and they never wear out. This is in Dr. Eric's room. They call it the war room. We even moved the brain room from a small office off the lunchroom training center over to a bigger office by the research offices. And so here's our boardroom. We added blues and grays and some more TVs we can airplay. So what I didn't know at the beginning of this was that, I already thought we had a work environment that was getting better and better with the steady meeting cadences and the one-on-one meetings with the staff and management and the new improved processes we were doing. And the way we were asking for, valuing, and using the input from the staff. But what I didn't know was all this remodeling, investing in your business was they considered investing in them. And you were helping to create a better environment that they all could work and play in. So that was a nice surprise. Also invested in the marketing department. Last year, many of you met Candace Fraser, the director of our global marketing. And I feel TTI is so lucky to have her on board. I mean, she's doing an amazing job. I'm always amazed at her knowledge and how she's leading the marketing effort there. And she actually helps so much outside of marketing, so much so that she's recently been added to the senior leadership team and is well-deserved. So she's helping build a cohesive marketing strategy and plan. Matter of fact, she has the next 3 years all planned out with a budgetary request. Oh, my checkbook. Okay, I still have it. But I have such confidence in her and her team that it's going to be money well spent because I know she's going to be able to prove it to me. Matter of fact, the marketing team, we actually have 3 MBAs on staff from pretty esteemed universities here in the U.S. So they are superb. So they're doing such a fantastic job. They're going to take us from just communication to strategic understanding, which means we're going to deliver more value to you in the future. I also told you last year how we invested in the research department. We added Dr. Eric Gehrig and Rico Rivera. We've made a couple more changes. We moved Rico from an outside consultant to a full-time employee, and we added another mathematician in Robert Stokes. And they've been taking the last year and a half going over all our assessments, finding where we can improve, what studies we need, and they have a whole strategy mapped out, and you'll be hearing later from Ron on all about that. Recently, we hired an instructional designer. Last year in Porto at the international meeting, it was suggested that TTI take the lead and hire that role. And so we brought her on. The main goal was to take our certifications from around the world and standardize them, also create some basic trainings that we can then deliver in a consistent manner in multiple languages around the world. Suzanne comes from University of Phoenix. There she spent 12 years and has a proven record of creating professional programs for educators and administrators. And she's already making a tremendous difference here at TTI. She's revamped our certification for here in the States. That's the first project we had her do, and that'll be released soon in a new LMS. She's also revamped the Driving Forces Manual. Wait till you see that. That'll soon be released. And EQ is right around the corner. So what I like about her, her own goal is to make TTI known for quality training materials as much as we are for our assessments and reports. And I love that goal. Last year, I told you about a previous employee in Rodney Cox coming back to us. He was a VAA, so he has been in your shoes. He came to TTI and helped me develop and design IDS that we had the programmers to program. But then he went out on his own, and for these last 17 years, he had developed all this experience and these contacts, and we're now starting to capitalize on those. And he's been a great addition to our senior leadership and gives us valuable input on a day-to-day basis. And later you'll hear from him on how he's helping to reshape the image of TTI out in the market space. Many of you have heard that Ashley Bowers is coming back to us. And I'm happy to announce she's officially on the payroll. She started working for TTI when she was just 17, and her last name was Parks. So became so valuable at TTI that she eventually became, many of you know, she was president of North America division, right? And she left in 2013 to start her own consulting company, but was quickly hired by HomeSmart to be their COO. And she's done a tremendous job over there, and she now knows firsthand that sometimes it's easier said to implement our assessments inside of a corporation than done. So she's gained all that experience. She's bringing it back to us. She has some great ideas and actually some game changers that we hope to develop in the future. She also went from COO to president at HomeSmart. So that just shows you where she goes, how the impact that she makes. And I just love the story of how she started at TTI, worked her ranks up through, became president, went to another company, became president, and now she's bringing all that back to us. There are times I think she's coming back to work for me and her love for TTI. Then I remember Rick Bowers works for us. She'll be working with Adam in professional services, and you'll later hear from both of them and what they got planned. And it's just great to have her back. I got some more exciting announcements about the programming staff, which for me is my passion, for you, but just listen. Because this is good. We have a previous employee also back with us. He'll be joining us at the end of the month. Chris Heald. He started programming for us when he was just 17. He worked for us for a couple years and then went off and started his own startup and developed a technology and got noticed by Mashable.com. So Mashable actually bought him and his technology and brought it in. And then he later helped lead their team. He became their lead programmer and helped develop the technology that made them so successful. And every once in a while, I'd have Rodney or Brent just give Chris a call, see what he was doing, see if he was happy. He was always happy, and why not? You're working for a highly visible tech company. You get to lead the programming department, decide what technology you use, and he was always happy. But we thought, hey, let's have him up. So we had him up and just talk to our programmers, come in and have a small meeting and share ideas. And we had heard there was a rumor that Mashable might be up for sale. And get this, while he's in our office in a meeting with my programmers, he gets an email that Mashable might have just been bought. Now, it wasn't 100% sure, so he didn't say anything at the time. And later we would talk about it. And I said, well, so what are you going to do? And he goes, well, I need to see how the transition goes. I'm very loyal to my team. But if they start breaking up the team, then we'll talk. Well, shortly after that, we did find out that some of the team was being broke up. Some of the staff was looking for new jobs. And we were able to talk to one of his programmers, one of his right-hand man. And the more we talked with Kevin, the more we liked him. So we have actually hired Kevin Giese. And he was in the office Monday and did some pair programming with Brent, getting his computer set up. And Brent, by the end of the day, is like, okay, we need to make these changes to admin. Here's a couple features we need. Why don't you do that? And did you know on the first day, he actually made the changes, committed them to tests, and tested them, all on the first day. Now, he was here at boot camp, but he had a family emergency, so he had to leave. So I hope everything is going well there, to send out some good wishes to him. And I'll also admit that getting Kevin on board was also kind of like a magnet for Chris to say, you know what, come on over. And one day I got an email from Chris, and he said, hey, I just came back from New York, and I'd like to talk because I have some interviews lined up at the end of the week that I'd like to cancel. And I'm like, yes. So he said, should we have dinner? And I said, yes. So we met that night for dinner with him and his wife, and I let him know how important it would be to bring him back, not just for his programming skills, but for his mind. This guy is brilliant. And he's adding to it. I know many of you already think we have great programmers, and we do. To see him and Brent working together is going to be an awesome thing. Now we're basically doubled our programming size, but in reality, it's 3 to 4 times. That's how good these guys are. But it doesn't stop there. We also have talked with and will be getting another gentleman for the programming department. He's currently a CTO at a sizable company. And so he loves to manage. He loves to do DevOps, which means maintaining the servers, monitoring, testing, deploying the applications. And what that's going to allow is a more efficient programming department. Our programmers are going to be able to do what they love, program. They're not going to have to worry about maintaining and doing all the monitoring. So we hope to have him sometime in the second quarter. So I'm telling you, this is a program staff like we've never had. As a matter of fact, with all the additions in this last year and a half, and we've had some great people work for TTI throughout the years, and take Bill out of the equation, there has never been a staff like this at TTI ever. We are fully loaded. So you can see I was serious about doing some investing, and I did some remodeling, but it's not enough. What I need to do is step back. I need to release their brilliance, right? I need to give them the resources they need. One of the ways I like leading the company is that let's have decisions made by a group. The department leader may have the final say on that decision, but I want to make sure we're including people from all over the company and across departments. Make sure we see the big picture. Make sure we don't miss a critical piece. And we're including a lot of you in some of our initial discussions and pre-release of how we're releasing products. So that's the more the better. I also want to give them the understanding that it's okay to fail. With the understanding, though, if we fail faster. That way we can make changes and adapt and succeed faster. And so that's been working pretty good for us as well. Many of you have heard that I don't want to be the voice of TTI. I want to be the glue. So we got strategies to get Ron and Rick and Adam and Ashley and Candace out into the market space and speak for TTI. We even have some plans of how maybe some of you can speak for us at certain venues. Another thing we need to do is listen more. Listen more to the network and what you guys are asking for and what the market is asking for. And I think we've been doing a pretty good job of that. We've been doing surveys, and we now have an awesome marketing team that can totally analyze that. We've had Adam out on the road going to visit with some of you and get valuable input. We've had Candace on the telephones making many calls to find out what you need, what we can provide additionally. We reduced the Chairman's Club from about 80 to 100 people to GVP recently. And last October, we had 12 of the GVP in the TTI office for a meeting, an all-day meeting. And we all left saying that was one of the best meetings we ever had because TTI was honest with them, they were honest with us, and they were honest with each other. And it was an awesome meeting. And we just had another one with the full GVP here today, and it's definitely a different environment and a great thing that's happening. I also know that many of you have great materials and solutions and products. And matter of fact, we recently had Judy Suter in the TTI office to go over some of her materials and see what we can take from her to bring back to you. This year we have planned to talk with Ron Price about the HD series and see what improvements we can do. So what I'm saying is that we are listening and we're looking out to the network to see what kind of collaboration can we do. What products do you have that we could bring in and actually revenue share with? So I think together there's so many talented people, so many great materials and solutions out there that we can build a better product line for all of us. So to me, reimagining excellence is taking a fresh look at everything and seeing what we can improve, to include more people in the process, to reach out to you and see what we can bring in for the entire network. So I want to thank you for putting your trust in us. We work hard every day to maintain that trust. And I hope over the next 2 days, we all can get a clear picture of what reimagining excellence means to all of us. Thank you.